So, tell me, Martha, what did you work on today?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Nat, because that's the only thing I can think about right now. It's a React Native app that I'm making, and my brain is totally fried from all the problem solving I've been doing today.
So much fun.
It is fun. I really enjoy React Native.
Well, you said what problem you were running into a problem because it's like the app is like taking videos, and then saving them to the camera or saving them to the phone, but you were trying to work with the Expo documentation to like lock the orientation of the
Right,
portrait
so there's
landscape
so
screen
many
orientation.
different things that go into mobile development that you don't have to deal with in web development.
Totally different.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think about making things mobile friendly in web development, like designing for mobile first kind of thing. But you don't have to worry about like accessing the camera or screen orientation or at least, I don't know. Do you ever have to deal with that in web development? I never did, but I guess I never really made video apps or anything either. So yeah.
Well, I mean, think about like in a browser, at least. Right. I mean, most when people think of web development, at least I still think of like like a laptop, and like you have a mouse and you have keys, and that's it. Like in terms of like input coming in.
Right.
But with a phone,
so you can
really
like add event listener or like you can listen for
like
events on different things.
Totally different mindset.
And it's the same thing. So I was trying to basically add an event listener for the phone, screen orientation. Like, is it in portrait mode or is it in landscape mode? And so there were different functions for that and such, and the documentation just wasn't the best. It was not very beginner friendly. There were no examples, no example cases at all.
And you couldn't even find like there's no like tutorials or anything out there.
Tutorials, articles. I mean, the most I found were people asking questions on Stack Overflow and pretty much not getting their questions answered.
Yeah,
so it's like somebody must have the answers.
That's when you know you're making progress in your web development career. It's when you run out of answers and you have to start asking the questions. And
that actually happened to me once before this. Yeah, you really can tell when you're getting more advanced when the resources you're finding, you can't find articles and tutorials as readily available to you for the problem you're trying to solve. What was that? I was creating an API with using, MongoDB was my database, and I wanted to create, it's a non-relational database, and I wanted to create a relationship between two data sets, and I had to figure out how to do that. And I did it, but it was not, that was the first time I had experienced that, where the question I had was not, I couldn't just look it up on Google and there were like several articles.
Which, just shows you how like relatively spoiled we are as, being in this generation of developers, that we have access to all this free information.
Right.
It's insane. Yeah. It's insane. I don't think I would be doing software development if I couldn't have access to Google, or I couldn't have, I don't think I would have even gotten this far.
Right.
I wouldn't have. That's part of my workflow is knowing how and where to look things up quickly. So yeah, it really is like, it's such a cool part of web development.
Yeah.
So now she needs to write an article about how to do what she's doing.
Once I figure out all this stuff, I could write an article or do tutorials. Sure, why not?
Get it out there, put it out there.
I could at least go through my code and be like, this is what I did here, and because there's different APIs through. I'm using Expo, which is like a wrapper for React Native that has all these different features, and it makes it more beginner friendly, and so I had to use the camera API to actually take the video. Then I had to use the video API to play the video back. and then there's a video thumbnail that I can create, and this today, all day, was spent trying to understand screen orientation and all the different methods that are attached to that. And yeah, it's hard. And but it's very fun. I was realizing, like, towards the end of the day, even though my brain was just exhausted, just how much fun I was having.